Okay, so I formed the Georgian Legion in 2014. In 2014, in April, we were already in Ukraine, helping Ukrainians. We were helping get more experience in combat, because Georgians have it. Georgians have experienced the war with Russia. The last one was in 2008. So we shared our experience. We were training Ukrainian brigades, armed forces brigades, and militia battalions. So starting from 2014, we are already here taking part in military operations against Russia. And most of men in Georgian Legion were ethnical Georgians. Later in 2016, when they legalized foreigners in the armed forces, we were the first ones to sign a contract with armed forces, and then a lot of guys from different countries started joining us. Currently, we already had more than 30 different countries in the Georgian Legion. So generally it was created, to help them stand against Russian aggression and occupation. So till today we are still in Ukraine. We're having a recruitment process right now, and a lot of people are still joining us to help Ukraine. We have some criteria that are very important for us. We do not tolerate racism or Nazism or any kind of extremism, and I'm trying to avoid such kind of people getting into Georgian Legion. And I have to speak personally to each of them and interview them to exclude some radical views.
Okay.
The idea is to help Ukrainians and to preserve their freedom. Okay, so we were the first country who experienced Russian aggression in the 90s, and my father was a military general. He took me to his battalion, and we were fighting side by side for a year in Russian-Georgian war in Abkhazia. After we got to Russian captivity, and I was in a captivity for 3 months. My father stayed there for 2 years. So we were both exchanged to the other side military captives. And generally after that I'm fighting against Russia, and all my family is fighting against Russia. My sister is the parliament member of Georgia. She was the only, unfortunately, she was the only politician who came to support Ukraine and went to front lines to see what is going on, because in Georgia we have totally pro-Russian government now. We have generally very long history of fighting Russian aggression, our family. My family members were killed in 1921 when we had one more Russian aggression in Georgia and Russian annexation of Georgian territories. So most of my family members were killed in 1921. We were experienced permanently this aggression, and that's why today there is a Georgian Legion who is standing with Ukrainians. Actually, from what yesterday Putin said, we just saw the declaration of war to Ukraine from Russia. It is nothing new for Ukrainians or for us personally, because all these 8 years we were fighting against Russian armed forces. Only in Georgian Legion we had more than 7 captives from Russian armed forces. So there is nothing new they can tell us, except they might start using airstrikes against civil population, and they might use ballistic rockets against civil population. So there is no big difference what Russia was doing during these 8 years and what it is doing now. They just openly recognize that they are present on occupied territories, that they occupied Ukraine, and that they will be going on occupying Ukraine, and they will still have their imperialistic ambitions. I don't know, we have some different view of what is going to happen. In my opinion, the main target most probably will be Kyiv, to set up an alternative government to Kyiv. That's all what Russia will be trying to do. So, in my opinion, they will attack Kyiv first of all. So we are getting ready for it, and our unit is 100% ready to meet them. And of course, the Ukrainian armed forces are ready, because Ukrainian armed forces went through full-scale war actually with Russia during all this time. So nobody is surprised. There is no panic in civil population. Civil population is not preparing food, and provision. They are buying weapon, and they want to defend their freedom with their own hands. So this is what motivates us, because these people are unbreakable. They will stand till the end to preserve their families and their territorial integrity. I would like to say a couple of words to everybody who has values of democracy and freedom. Today in Ukraine we see the very thin line that lies between civilized world and barbarians that are coming from Russia. And everybody who has a will to defend the world and the freedom generally, they should be standing with Ukraine. And all the corrupted politicians in Europe, especially in France and in Germany, should widely open their eyes and see what is going on today in Ukraine, and try to help Ukraine. They kept their eyes closed when it happened in Georgia in 2008, and it was exactly the same situation. But they preferred to blame Georgia in starting war with Russia, then work against Russia, and refuse the corrupted money that they're getting from Russia and from Gazprom. So this is my message. Every free man should be standing with Ukraine. It does not mean that they should be holding weapon. They should be standing mentally with Ukraine, and they should do everything to preserve it.